This work is called Poema per Gaspara Stampa, poem for Gaspara Stampa. Like many of my works, there is a literary inspiration or background to the piece, even though there is no text. Gaspara Stampa is someone every feminist, every woman should be intensely proud of. She was a great poet, not just a very good poet, but a great poet in the early 16th century in Venice, when it was hardly the thing for women to be doing anything much outside the home. She's also one of the great tragedies of history, a tragedy like Tristan und Isolde, but a singular tragedy. Her dates are 1523 to 1554. So she died at 31 years old. She was born into a noble family in Padova, which is very close to Venice and part of the Venetian Republic, the city of Copernicus and Galileo. But her family had fallen a little from its greatest times and didn't have that much money. So they were regarded as minor nobility, possibly even a little bit suspect. Her father died when she was very young, about 15, and her mother and brother and sister and herself moved to the most serene republic itself, to Venezia, which incidentally is where my mother is from, which is another reason I feel rather close to this story. Her brother Baldassare was also a remarkable poet, and he died, we think, of the plague at the age of 20. So the two sisters and the mother were left alone. Gaspara was of independent spirit and had a number of love affairs. One in particular with a great nobleman who had castles in the region, 3 or 4. And it is known that the two of them were very much in love, and their relationship lasted about 4 years, until at a certain point his family said to him, "You know, yes, she's very beautiful and very gifted in her poetry and so on, but she is not of our rank in society, and you must marry someone else." So he cast her off, and not very long afterwards, whether, we don't know actually, whether of suicide or simply of falling prey to a fever, the plague, she died. She left behind miraculous sonnets, mostly sonnets. They are absolutely beautiful, and they are a monument of early Italian erotic poetry. In fact, they were set by many of the great madrigalists like Marenzio, Gesualdo, Monteverdi, Villert, and so on. She wrote her own epitaph for her tomb, which goes like this. Per amar molto ed esser poco amata, visse e morì infelice, ed or qui giace. For having loved much and having been little loved in return, she lived and she died unhappy, and now she lies here. La più fidele amante che sia stata, the most faithful lover that ever was. Pregale, viator, riposo e pace, ed impara da lei sì maltrattata a non seguir un cor crudo e fugace. Pray for her, ye who pass by. Rest and peace, and learn from her so badly treated not to follow a cruel and fleeting heart. She wrote that, of course, herself. And this is just the beginning of one of her great poems, and it's kind of what the piece is. Arsi, piansi, cantai, piango, ardo e canto, piangerò, arderò, canterò sempre, finché morte o fortuna a tempo stempre all'ingegno, occhi e cor, stil, foco e pianto. It's just the beginning. I burned, I wept, I sang. I weep, I burn, and I sing. I will always weep, I will always burn, I will always sing, until death or fortune in good time stamps out all that I am into pure intelligence, the eyes and the heart, the style, the fire, and the tears. So this is not a programmatic piece, it's a portrait of a woman of whom no portrait exists, who lived 450 years earlier, and with whom, through her poetry, I fell in love. I wrote this piece when I was 22, and I put it in a bottom drawer for a long time. I didn't think much of it, but anyway, I got it out last week, knowing that Dan is going to be here. We should give it a try.